Bienvenue to Nouns Have All the Power. This video is going to help us write full sentences. It's going to cover a lot of information with a lot of vocabulary, like what's a noun, what's a proper noun, what's a common noun, what's a normal noun, what's a pronoun, what's a disjointed pronoun, what are articles, definite or indefinite, adjective agreement, what's that, and verb conjugation. But luckily, when I hit each of these things, it's going to help build upon your ability to create sentences. Our basic goal is to see how nouns affect each of these sentences because they have this humongous amount of power. They will make adjectives agree with them. The verbs are going to have to conjugate according to them. And even articles are going to have to agree with those nouns. Okay, so let's start with verb conjugation. We have been doing this our entire lives, and it makes sense to us. And most of our sentences are very similar in French as in English. We have a subject, a verb, and an object. The subject tends to come first, then the verb, and then the object. And we can tell if something doesn't sound right because if it's not conjugated correctly, it won't sound right. Although we might not have learned specifically how to conjugate, we know whether it sounds right or not. So we don't say I to be tired. We need to say I am tired. We don't say he am kind. We have to say he is kind. And in order to make these kinds of conjugations, we're going to have to know some subject pronouns. And knowing those will also help us with our verb conjugations. So some of the subject pronouns that we have are je for I, tu, and notice that tight U sound, he, il, elle, she, or either those can mean it as well, and on, one or we. And on will be conjugated in the same way il and elle will, which is why it's in this lovely box. Nous, we don't pronounce the S, and vous, we don't pronounce the S. Notice these oo sounds are more open than the tight U sound. We have il and elle, and yes, I know they sound exactly like il and elle, but they're plural. And knowing this chart of the subject pronouns, there's another chart with the subject pronouns and the verb être conjugated in those same boxes to kind of help with visual recall. So in order to conjugate to be for each of these subjects, we'll look at this chart. So we have je suis, don't pronounce the S. Tu es, don't pronounce the S. Il, elle, or on est, we're not pronouncing the S or T. Nous sommes, don't pronounce the S. Vous êtes, not pronouncing the E or S. And ils or elles sont, don't pronounce the T. And you make the O kind of nasalized. So subject pronouns are these first things here. But we have other nouns that could be the subjects of our sentence. We have actually three types of nouns. We have pronouns, proper nouns, common nouns. And pronouns can be subject pronouns like we've seen, like the je, tu, il, elle, but they can also be disjoint pronouns. And whereas subject pronouns have to go at the beginning, disjoint pronouns are like me, you, him, her, not he or she. So they have to go at the end. They're the object of the sentence. So let's take a look again at how those are used. These subject pronouns are at the beginning of the verb. Je suis, il est, and tu es. Whereas these disjointed pronouns are at the end. Tu aimes moi, j'aime toi, t'es super en moi, les devoirs, and écoutez eux. So again, we have moi, toi, lui, elle, nous, vous, eux, and elle. Wait a minute, you're probably saying, hey, some of those sound really similar. Those look very similar to those subject pronouns, and you are right. So see how nous and vous are the same, elle are the same, toi starts with a T, and elle is the same. So hopefully that'll be pretty facile. Other nouns that we have are proper nouns, like things that are capitalized, like Madame moi, and all these lovely characters or places. Anything that's capitalized is a proper noun. And lastly, we have common nouns, and there's a reason why I'm going over common nouns. Common nouns are going to need articles. And so this is this category of every other type noun. It's not a subject pronoun, it's not capitalized, it's everything else. And unlike English and French, we need an article. Every normal noun needs an article. Again, every normal noun needs an article. So when I say, what do you like? You don't normally say, I like the chocolate. You just say, I like chocolate. but in French I need the. So since each normal noun has an article, it means each of them has a gender. Because these articles, the things that mean the or are either masculine or feminine to agree with that noun. All right? So we have indefinite articles that can mean or some. And they change based on if that noun, that thing, is masculine, like un café, or une, feminine, une banane. And then the same thing, the definite articles will agree masculine, feminine, or if the next word starts with a vowel, and plural. So let's take a look at what some of that would look like. And we tend to use the indefinite articles in the same way as we do in English. So if you're trying to directly translate and you're thinking, hey, I want a cookie, you're probably going to use un. So, tu veux un biscuit? Or je veux un biscuit. I want a cookie. Whereas in French, we do something a little different. We always include an article, and in English, we tend to drop the definite articles. So, tu aimes le chocolat? We wouldn't say that the in English. Oui, j'aime le chocolat. So, in other words, to summarize, we are going to need an article, and if we're trying to directly translate, and we wouldn't use or some, try the, because every normal noun will need an article. Not those wonderful pronouns or common nouns or proper nouns, just the common/normal nouns. Nouns also affect the adjective, so not just the article that's going to go in front of the noun, like the chocolate, but if I'm describing it, then the adjective that describes noun, it modifies it, it tells us the quality of it, that adjective will have to agree as well. So, l'ordinateur est blanc. We have l'apostrophe because this one starts with a vowel, so the article agrees. And then est blanc. Computer's masculine, adjective of white, féminin. La craie est blanche. So, because this noun is feminine, the article is feminine, the verb is conjugated for it, and the adjective has to agree with the feminine. It's a lot of power in one sentence for one word to have. Let's take a look at some more examples. For example, tu es gentil. You changes the conjugation, and you being masculine here is going to make this masculine. If I say je suis gentil, I have to change the verb to match me, and I have to agree the adjective to be féminin. Tu es intelligent. And we have masculine, tu es, and je suis intelligente, féminin. Now, a lot of the adjectives have very common agreement patterns. We have brillant and brillante. We basically add an E to make adjectives feminine, add an S to make them plural. If it already ends in an E, then we don't worry about adding an E. If it ends with an E accent aigu, then we actually have to add another E. But in general, those are the basic concepts. So what we've learned today is when we're putting together a sentence, that noun, the subject noun, is going to change the verb. And it's possible that I'm going to need an article in front of it. And that article will have to match the noun. And then whatever adjective I use to describe the noun is going to have to match the noun too. So there's a lot of power in one word. If you have questions, si vous avez des questions, laisse-moi savoir.